Hello Star Citizens, and welcome to another video. I actually, I've been doing a lot of different videos recently, and I actually thought, hey, you know what I haven't done? I haven't actually went through all the 3.23 things that are coming and talked about them. Like, how about we do that? How about we just take some time and go through all of the things that are coming in 3.23? It's right around the corner now. I feel like it's just makes sense to do it right now. To get a few things out of the way, we have the contest is still going on for the month of April, giving away a Hull A. Like, dislike, subscribe, make sure you leave a comment, and you'll be entered to win. All the rest of the details, you got to go to the Discord or you got to go to social media to find out. And also DJ972, you are the winner of that $20 gift card from the last video. So if you haven't reached out, go ahead and reach out on the Discord and we can get you that gift card. And I like that. I think I'll probably do that once a month. I'll probably just pick a random video and just like do like a referral bonus thing where if somebody is referred, maybe I'll choose from a list of people who used my account code, and then I'll just give a random person on there a surprise, or it'll be like, if you refer somebody now, like, I'll give you this or that or whatever. We'll see how it goes. I kind of just do this. I like the term willy-nilly. I don't know what it means. I don't know if it has some like messed up like history or whatever, so don't hold me accountable. I don't know, but I like to just do this thing willy-nilly. I like to give back to the community, but I also like referrals. So if you know anybody that wants to start Star Citizen, tell them to follow Billionaire Ninjas and watch the channel, so that maybe they'll end up getting like a free startership and they won't even have to pay. So it could happen. I'm not saying it will, I'm just saying it might. It's a possibility. It's a non-zero chance. All right, so all right, let's get to the video. Let's start looking at some of these things. So I'm using Star Citizen tools. Oh, and before I get started, I use hanger.link. The Star Jump guys, they are awesome. Shout out to Grim. So all my top 5 and tier list videos that I've done so far up to April 15th, just after midnight. So I use Star Jump for all of that. So I think you go to hanger.link and then you can use their website. So if you're wondering how I do those top 5 lists, that's who I use. Those folks over there are awesome. So I forgot to put that in my last video, so I just wanted to make sure I pointed that out. So let's get to this. So I use starcitizen.tools because honestly, I think CIG, I want you to work on the game. Don't worry about your website, but your website is it needs some work. I'm glad that you just did the launcher. You just redid the launcher. That was great. But your website needs some work, because I often find myself on other people's websites because I can't find the information on yours. So beautiful website, but it needs some work. All right, so let's go down. Ooh, it's not that much. We could get through this in one video. So the updated character creator. Let's start there. This, I mean, let's just handle the elephant in the room, right? There weren't a lot of options. Look at my hair. Look at my hair. All right. Was this in the game before the new character creator? Was this in there? This is a real hairstyle. This is my real hair. I promise you this isn't fake. It wasn't in there. It wasn't in there. And I don't even think it's still gonna be in there, like, exactly, right? But I don't need it to be exact, but I do need something similar, right? I need to be able to put myself in the game. And that I can tell you right now, if the amount of money I put in this game, like, I really feel like I should be able to put myself into the game, right? So I think they fixed one of the massive issues with the game, like just not being able to put yourself in the game. I love the way they did it. I like that you can change the hair colors. I like that, there's millions of different options. I really like what they did. So I'm glad that they did it, because I was starting to get a little worried, right? Like, all right, CIG, you know, there's other people in the world, right? But they did it, so I'm happy with it. And it's one of the features that I'm looking forward to the most, especially because if you watch my monthly report update, you'll know that they're actually making it to where you can keep your character even when the patch updates. So it's gonna be awesome. All right, I don't want this video to be 30 minutes long, so I'm not gonna talk about all of them in depth, right? Distribution centers, I am so hyped for distribution centers. Now, the PU is open, by the way. The PU is live. So I'll probably do a video tomorrow, or I guess that would be today. I'll probably do a video of me, like, you know, jumping into 3.23 for the first time. But I'm trying to wait until I finish the Overdrive Initiative missions. But anyway, back to distribution centers. The distribution centers, I think, are one of those things that is really going to start making it feel like these planets have a reason to exist. Now, yes, you can go to outposts, you can go to the major cities and stuff like that, but the distribution centers is like, I think you need 3 locations, 3 types of locations, right? And they had the caves, right? But I don't think you have to look for the caves, and you didn't have the correct type of map to really look for them, so you kind of just had to happen upon them. And I think this is that 3rd location, and the caves can kind of just be the extra thing, right? So the fact that they're gigantic, the fact that they have missions to do, the fact that you can kind of like raid them, like there's so many reasons why, you know, why distribution centers are going to be awesome. Being able to, you know, use your drop ships for a reason now. I think, you know, like, people had drop ships, it was kind of like, I guess sometimes these will be useful, but now it's like they're always useful for dropping people off at the top of a distribution center so they can raid it and do whatever they need to do. And they're massive. They are massive. Okay, like, you going from one end to the other, it's like being in, like, it's like if a javelin, right? You're not gonna just go there one time and experience the whole thing. So yeah, it's gonna be really cool. When it comes to like the animal hunting, I'm not particularly interested in animal hunting, but I'm glad it's there, because I am interested in just having fauna around, right? Like, just having, you know, different trees and branches and flowers and stuff like that, and then having different animals. Like, I love to see that stuff running around, and, you know, I can imagine like running away from them, or like shooting them if they attack or whatever. So I think that's really cool. That adds to the idea that, like, we're really on alien worlds, right? You cannot have these worlds without this stuff. Then the FPS loot screen. Let me tell you, I was doing the Overdrive Initiative, and I wished that the FPS loot screen was there, because I was like I don't play Star Citizen as much as I talk about Star Citizen, because I literally have to make videos. But I also, when I do play, I am constantly reminded of, like, oh, I forgot this doesn't work that way, or oh, I forgot this doesn't work like other games. And I'm cool with that as long as it does work. But there are so many times where I was trying to put something in my inventory, but the way the camera shifts around, like, my armor was blocking part of it, or I couldn't see myself, so I couldn't drag the thing onto myself. It was absolute chaos, right? Now, I'm okay with that, because I know the game is being made, but yes, that was a major annoyance. And I, you know, I can't count on both hands how many times I've been killed because I was trying to, like, get ammo from somebody or whatever. So FPS loot screens, I am 100% looking forward to that. And so what I'll do here, so this is very tiny picture of the character customizer, right? And then there's your ooh, these pictures are trash. So yeah, let's not use those. But we'll zoom in a little bit here. All right, so I'm very much so looking forward to the FPS loot screen. This is so much easier. You click on the person, you just go boom, boom, boom. Like, just drop it down. I am so looking forward to that. And then item banks, right? So another thing, and I'm using the Overdrive Initiative, right? And so basically it's just a few missions, right? But when I go into a place and I'm trying to figure out like where is this stuff stored at, I would love for there to just be a kiosk and I don't have to worry about where it's stored. I go to a kiosk, I know exactly, it's gonna tell me where it's stored, and I can take the stuff out. I don't have to go all the way back. I don't have to figure out which room I spawned in or any of that stuff. And it also is more realistic than just having access to it regardless of where I'm standing on the planet too. So I'm looking forward to item banks as well. Arena Commander updates, like new maps, new modes, and custom lobbies. The biggest thing I am excited for with Arena Commander is the experimental modes, specifically the engineering experimental mode. I think you need more experimental modes. You need experimental modes for everything. Like I want an experimental mode where I can mess around with mining equipment. Like I'm not gonna make any money or anything, but I could just mess around. I could go and mine, and I don't have to worry about like, you know, going to get all the equipment and going to get the specific ship and so on and so forth. I just want to go mine, like fiddle around with things to see what I like my settings to be like. So then when I do it in the verse, I know exactly what to buy, exactly what to do, and then I can practice without actually having to worry about like, oh, the rock exploded, my ship exploded, now I got to go and try to do it all over again, right? So that's what I'm excited for, the experimental modes in Arena Commander. The personal and instance hangars is probably, it's in the top 3. If it's not my number 1 thing that I'm excited for, it's in the top 3. No, it's not my number 1. It's not my number 1. It's not my number 1. Let me see. Let me cheat a little bit. No, it's in my top 3 though. It's in my top 3. Being able to get your vehicle out of your own hangar, having a place that you can call your own, that you can store your stuff in. Like I can decorate, I can finally, all this flair I have that I can't use for anything, like I can finally put it somewhere. Like I think is so freaking cool. Like I don't care if I have to load my own hangars, having a place where I can just hang out with people, not have to worry about, you know, people, you know, trying to come in or do crazy stuff to me, I think is so awesome. Like, and the fact that we own it, it's ours, we can decorate it, it's our home location, we can customize it. Oh, that is so awesome. And I'm looking forward to it, not just because it's our own stuff, but it's also like, you know, I do a lot of my ship reviews and stuff, like, or when I like ship walkthroughs, really, not the reviews, but I do like walkthroughs of ships, and I normally have to go to like for ships that I own, I have to go to, you know, the free play mode in Arena Commander, so that I can make sure I'm not being bothered when something happens, right? But I would love to just go to my own hangar and do all that stuff. I think that would be much more fun to do, right? Yeah, I can imagine like hopping in an STV and driving around my ship, like talking about the ship, like, you know, and like I think that would just be a pretty cool thing to do. But we can't do that in the way the game is now. So really looking forward to instance hangars. The Moby Glass, oh my goodness, the Moby Glass rework. Look, I appreciate you fixing the contract manager, the journals app, the home, but the map, the star map, now it's called I think it's just called the map now, right? I don't know what they said what it's going to be called, but I'm including these next two. So the map rework, FPS map system, and the Moby Glass rework. The number one thing that I need from Star Citizen is a mini map system, right? I absolutely love, you know, being immersed in the game and like using the signs to have to figure out where to go. It makes you have to learn where you are, and like it's very realistic. But the thing is, that only works if you're not getting kicked out of the game. Like if I have time and I know that the game works the way it's supposed to work, then I don't mind doing those things. But if I get kicked out of the game and now it's like, okay, where was that sign at again? And now I have to look for the sign and find the sign. Yes, I want to do that at some point. But sometimes I just want to get where I want to go. Sometimes I just want to, I want to skip all that. How do I get to where I want to go? I'm on a time constraint, and I need to know where I need to go right now, right? And if we're in the future, I feel like that should be very easy to turn on and turn off. Not to mention trying to find a planet or something on a planet in the star map is so frustrating. I know everybody who plays, that it's frustrating, but yeah, it's one of those things that it's one of the main reasons I don't bring people to the game as much, because like when they hop in and they're like, oh, okay, all right, I'm gonna go to this different planet, and they see that star map, you can just see the color drain from their face, like, this is the star map. And again, I've told them all the things. I've told them the game isn't finished yet, it's still in alpha, so on and so forth. But there's certain things that just have to work for you to be able to bring certain people, like the casual gamer, to this game. And I think that's why I'm so excited for 3.23, because this is going to be the first time that I can bring the casual gamer to this game, and they'll have like a genuine, like solid level good time, right? Not saying it's finished and not saying nothing's going to go wrong, but these things that they're changing are the things that I can bring people to the game and say, look, just play it for an hour and see what you think. And they'll have a good time playing it for an hour. And I don't have to worry about it failing a bunch of times, or them not being able to find this or not figure out this, right? It's going to be more intuitive. And that's what I love about those two. All right, moving on. Again, don't want this video to be super long. All right, freight elevators and cargo hauling. So I love that they're bringing cargo hauling missions. I think there's a lot missing from cargo hauling missions, right? It shouldn't just be, well, let me use some like third-party app to figure out what the cargo is, or what they're selling things for over here and what they're selling things for over here, and maybe I can get there in time before the price changes and come back. It should be more than that, right? And they're saying basically you get 20% of whatever you haul. So you'll pick something up for somebody else, you'll drop it off, and you get 20% of whatever you just dropped off, like whatever the cost was, right? That is a very low amount. I'm assuming that will go up the more you increase your reputation. Like, maybe you for every level you go up, it goes up 10%. And there's 4 levels or something to the point where you're making more than the people you're hauling for, or maybe it's bonuses for how fast you get there and things like that. So it's just adding more gameplay to the game, and I love it every time they do that, right? And having to physically load and unload cargo from ships, that's going to make it worth your while, which means you really got to pay people. You got to pay people for their time. And I don't know if CIG is doing this, but hey, CIG, an idea if you're not doing this already. The amount of time it takes somebody to do something, you should find out what people expect to earn in a certain amount of time, and then just base everything off of that, right? So like if it takes me an hour to do a full mining run, right? Where, I get in my ship, I get all the stuff, prepare my ship, then I mine the rocks, then I go refine everything, and then I finally sell the refined product for money, right? How long does that take? Does that take me 2 hours, right? How much money should a person own if they played for 2 hours, right? I think $100,000 an hour is a pretty good amount, right? Now, I'm just spitballing. Obviously, there's metrics and stuff you can use for that. But yeah, I think it shouldn't be so much, oh, this job makes more than this job, unless it's just more difficult or something like that. You can do like different difficulty bonuses and stuff, right? It should just be how long did I play the game, right? As I'm grinding, right? When I think of grinding in any game, I want while I'm grinding, I want it to be like, as long as if I do 3 hours of grinding, I know I'm gonna make some consistent progress. Doesn't whatever in whatever way, right? But I want it there to just I just want to make sure I'm getting that consistent progress. All right, moving on. The visor and lens HUD rework. Okay, so this one I didn't actually see coming, so I wasn't super excited for it until they showed it, and then I was like, oh, this is so much better, right? The amount of information is key in a game like this because you got to survive out here, right? You're not just like Mr. Invincible. I can stand outside this planet and never run out of oxygen and never freeze to death. A lot of things can happen to you, so information is key. And so them actually focusing on where the information is in the visor and being able to change based on what type of visor you're wearing or what lenses you're wearing, because they got contact lenses, which is really cool. I think that they're killing it with this stuff, right? Like, this is when I joined this community in 2017, this is the CIG that I joined for, right? This is these things that they're thinking about and doing are things I didn't even know I wanted, and then as soon as they talk about them, I'm like, oh my god, yes, more of that, right? It's the reason I put thousands of dollars into the game, right? It's the reason why so many people have put thousands of dollars into the game. All right, moving on. Player interaction experience. So I'm not sure what this one is, so let me read it. A holistic array of complementary features and systems, all related directly to the player. Player status, item status, environment status, as well as interactions with both the game. Okay, I know what this is. So if we look at the picture here, I like this, right? So this is like when you're interacting with something, right? Instead of it giving you like, you know, oh, here's a wheel and select here, select here, select here, select here, select, right? It's giving you the things that you're most likely going to want to do with that particular item. So this one, like if it's a rock, right, that I just broke out of a mining thing, right? What am I going to want to do with it? I'm going to want to store that, right? I don't want to carry it out. I don't want to look at it. I mean, for the most part, I want to just store it. So as soon as I click on it, having the store option, like put it away option, like be there immediately, is going to save so much time. And so this is basically just like it's like a quality of life improvement, and I appreciate that. EVA T2, so they're making EVA, oh my goodness. So on one hand, I kind of liked the just like like you move exactly in space. It looked kind of cool, right? But it wasn't realistic, and so I love that they're changing EVA, and I like that they're adding EVA Fuel, because that adds a different dynamic, right? You can't just be out in space. Like, you can't park, 3,000 kilometers from wherever it is and just be like, I'm gonna EVA the whole way. Like, that would be weird, and that would be super unrealistic. And also making it to where, you're a smaller silhouette while you're shooting. Man, it's like doing combat missions while you're prone EVA is going to be so much fun. Like, they're not going to be able to hit you. Like, it's going to be fun. I can't wait to do some prone EVA combat. I think that's going to be like one of the most fun ways to do combat. So I'm looking forward to that. Reputation hostility. I just talked about this in the monthly report. So basically, you kill a member of the faction, that's going to affect your reputation with them. They're going to respond to you. They're going to be sending people after you. So I love that. That adds to the reality of the game. You can't just go around killing people like crazy. It's like when you accept these missions and it's like, go to place A and kill group A, right? If you do that and then you take another mission and it's like, go to place B and kill group A, well, you just killed a bunch of group A's. So now you go and you're like, go to place C, you get another mission is go to place C and kill group A, right? Before you even get there, there's somebody showing up and shooting at you, and you're like, what are you shooting at me for? And it's like, oh, they hired a bounty hunter because you keep killing group A. So that is going to be so great. I am super excited for that. All right, keep it moving. Vehicle modularity, implementing the ability to swap modular sections of certain vehicles to change their function. Yes. The Aegis Retaliator. I don't even own an Aegis Retaliator, But I have considered buying one so many times because I just think it's such an underrated ship. But I don't need one right now. I might get one. I'm gonna see what happens with the modules, and I'll see what happens with that, and then I'll make my decision there, because I might end up with a Retaliator after all, after everything is said and done. But we'll see, because I have to like the way my ships look, right? I do like the way the Retaliator looks now, but I hate the way the interior looks, so I have to see what they do with this rework. But I am super excited for Modularity, especially when the carrot gets it, the whole game is gonna break, right? We don't know what these modules are gonna be for the carrot, but you know that people are super excited for their modules for that carrot. So it's gonna be a fun time. But I'm glad the Retaliator gets it first. The Retaliator deserves it first. That's what I say. It deserves it first, right? All right, moving on. Master modes. Okay. So part of the reason when I say like I make more videos than I play is because I've been waiting for master modes. I want to practice. I don't want to, like, I got these sticks. These super professional Constellation Alpha Prime sticks, right? These with the cool base and everything, and I got the buttons all set up, and it took hours, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I can't practice on 3.22.1 because master modes is around the corner. I need to practice in that. So I've only been able to practice doing like Pirate Swarm and everything on Arena Commander because that's where the master modes are. So I can't wait till this gets in game, and so everything I do, I can finally set things and be like, this is how it's going to be, right? And I'm actually a fan of master modes. I do think it needs to be tuned. I'm not saying it is perfect. And I don't think anybody who likes master modes is saying it's perfect. But I do think they're moving in the right direction, right? They want to slow combat down a little bit. They want to lower the skill floor, but also keep the same skill but I guess lower the skill ceiling as well. So just make it, it's still going to require skill for you to win in a dogfight. It's not going to go to no skill. It's just going to make it easier for people to fight you. So it's going to mean that if you were skilled before, you're going to have to be even more skilled to win now. Because people are going to have a better chance, a fighting chance against you. And that's kind of how it should be, right? Think about a prize fight, right? Like if somebody, if somebody gets in the ring with the heavyweight champion, right, the chances are they're most likely going to lose against the heavyweight champion, right? Especially if they're nowhere near the #1 contender, right? But we all know one solid punch in the right place and anybody can get knocked out. So it's a long shot, but that should exist. It should be that if you are the most amazing pilot in the world and you're going against somebody who's only been doing this for 4 or 5 months, they have a chance. Not a great chance, obviously, but they should have a chance. And the way things are set up now, they don't have a chance. If somebody was going up against somebody who's amazing like that, and has 3,000 hours behind the cockpit of an Arrow, there's no chance. They're not going to win unless they have like a ship that just so happens to be like your weakness, right? And maybe they should incorporate that in too, right? Like maybe you shouldn't have, I'm not saying there should be these people who have a chance. I'm not saying they should have a 30% chance of beating you. It should be, if you're one of the best pilots in the world and they're not, it should be a 1%, 2%, 3%, whatever percentage chance. It should be a low percentage, right? And then if they get the ship that's your weakness, maybe it starts to jump up to the 20s and 30%, right? But yeah, we remember, folks, like not everybody has thousands and thousands of hours into this game when they start. This game has to be accessible to people who are just starting, and they're gonna want to blow stuff up. They're not gonna want to sit back and be like, oh, I guess I'll just wait until I played for 2,000 hours to be good at using this. We are okay with that. We're okay with that. The people who've been playing it for 6-7 years, we're okay with that. But the average person is not. They're gonna want to jump in and immediately feel like, oh, this is badass. So yeah. Moving on, replication layer update. So actually, I'm gonna talk about image upscaling first. So they're doing the GPU upscaling, the DLSS, FSR, all that stuff is going to make a huge difference, because that means if you are having frame per second or FPS issues, they're basically all those, they're not going to go away, but they're going to be drastically reduced, so that we can have a more consistent game, less juddering, and I'm hyped for that. In general, I have a pretty beefy CPU, or a pretty beefy computer, but even still, I'm hyped for this stuff because I plan on using all of it, so I can do 4K 120, whatever the highest is, I want to do it. But let's talk about replication layer update, and this will be the last thing in the video. So over the course of the 3.21 patch cycle, the replication layer will be moved off of the game servers and set up as its own standalone service. In the short term, this allows for greater server recovery in the event of a crash. This is also a critical next step towards server meshing. Man, we need this. So just since they've done very small stuff, right, since 3.21, right, just because they've done very small stuff with replication layer, I have had very little 30Ks, right? I think I just had my first 30K doing the Overdrive Initiative with someone, and I hadn't had a 30K in it had to be like a year since I had one, maybe a year since I had a 30K. So it was a long time. And so not crashing is always great, but also just like seeing server meshing after all these years finally coming together, with being able to put 800 people on one server, fill this universe with people, and like be able to fly past other people and see them in their cool ships, right? Not just see them at the landing pad or wherever it is. Oh man, that's what's really gonna make Star Citizen special. Like the people, like I say this all the time, the people are what makes Star Citizen so great. You know, the game is awesome, right? We're all here to play the game, but the people, man, this community is excellent. I can't wait. Right now I'm not in a position to go to a lot of Bar Citizens, but I will be in a few months. And I cannot wait to start going out to these Bar Citizens and hanging out with you guys, like wherever, right? I am going to CitizenCon, and I think that's gonna be one of the greatest times I've ever had in Manchester. I've never been to Manchester. I have been to England when I was in the military. Actually, I don't know if that was England. It was somewhere in Europe. It wasn't England, but I've been to a few places. But yeah. I can't wait. That's gonna be fun. I'm gonna finally get to meet all these people that I've been seeing on YouTube all these years, right? Board Gamer, the info runners, I think are gonna be there. I think so far they're gonna be there. I know they were running a thing to see if they could afford it, because they got to pay a lot more than I do to go. Yeah, and people from the community too, not just like content creators, but like, I've talked to a few people who've said they're going in the comments, and I can't wait to meet everybody. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. I can't wait. But yeah, the community is what makes this great. So seeing the community get to finally start playing together all on the same server, that's when this game is really going to take off. That's what's going to be the thing that brings people to Star Citizen. So really hyped for that. All right. That is pretty much everything coming for 3.23. I'm sure there's some more stuff that's going to be coming soon. But yeah, that's it for this one. Thanks for hanging out with me on this one. I will see you in the next one. Peace.